Antonio starts right now.
We'll be keeping an eye on the authority radar again this morning with some showers possible. We'll show you when and where coming up.
And if you're heading to Houston or Austin this weekend, we got some good news for you. Traffic will not be too bad. This morning, we're learning about toll prices and a handy app to help plan your trip.
Plus, Hyundai is recalling over 85,000 Sonatas for a potential fuel tank leak. Find out if your car is affected and what you need to do. All right, good morning to everyone out there. It is Friday. We made it to the end of the work week. My name is RJ Marquez. Appreciate you guys being with us.
And I'm Daphne Gray. Happy Friday. And hey, is it going to be a happier Friday in our weather world? Let's go check in with Weather Authority meteorologist Justin Horn. How are we looking today?
Well, at least we did get some rain yesterday. I know not everyone got what we would have hoped for, but there was some rain out there, and we've got some more chances coming up. Small chances over the weekend. And some cool weather for Thanksgiving, too. So actually a pretty busy forecast. So let's start with the authority radar here. And what I want to point out is the fact that we have some showers and storms up there to our north. That is along a frontal boundary, which will be slipping south today, slowly but surely. We think it'll get here to San Antonio about 2 p.m. or so. And when it does, could stir up a shower or storm, although I don't think our rain chances are just huge. We're talking maybe 30% here. But as we look to the north, still seeing most of this just to the north of our viewing area. And again, that will slowly sink south as the day wears on. Before that, there are still a few showers, too, out near Gonzales. We may even see a couple of showers here in San Antonio. Can't count it out. So let's look at the temperatures. We're at 73, still warm. So you can see that we're still out ahead of that front. Once it moves through, we'll get some cooler mornings coming up both Saturday and Sunday. So hour by hour forecast here. We're going to go 30% chance of rain throughout the morning. Temperatures will hang probably right there in the 70s. Noontime 76. And now around 1 or 2 o'clock, I'm going to bump rain chances up to about 40% because that's when that front comes through. And then thereafter, we should see partly cloudy skies and things will dry out a little bit going into this evening, which is good for our Friday night football playoff games. We're going to look at that forecast, talk about the weekend and Thanksgiving, too. I got good news, RJ. How are things looking out there on the roadways?
All right, thank you very much for that, Justin. We're going to start with our traffic-wide map right here. The city map show you that everything, for the most part, has been okay across the city of San Antonio when it comes to some overnight construction. Earlier, we had reports of a shutdown over here by 10 for all of our folks headed over to Seguin, but things are looking pretty good out there right now. Now, TxDOT is now reporting a traffic crash over on the southeast side of town. So let's get you to that particular spot because that's going to be over by 37 and I-10, and that's going to be on the southeast side. Again, TxDOT just reported this incident. Right now, it looks like traffic is moving along right here on the southeast side of town, but we will continue to keep an eye on this situation because it looks like we have at least a couple of main lanes that will be closed there. But again, I'm still tracking the very latest when it comes to this accident right here. Also, the very latest when it comes to some potential overnight construction issues that we might see the rest of your Friday morning commute. But for right now, let's go to Patty Santos with a look ahead at some of your Thanksgiving travel forecasts. Patty?
Hey there, good morning, guys. So if you are planning to leave for your Thanksgiving holiday this weekend, you're in luck because you shouldn't really have any problems on the road. Really, the problems start right before Thanksgiving. Now, TxDOT says the heavy traffic typically starts the day before Thanksgiving. We're talking about Wednesday. That's anywhere to El Paso and Houston along I-10. The hours that you're going to want to be careful with are between 12 p.m. to 7 p.m. That is the heaviest traffic. Along I-35 to Austin and Fort Worth, traffic is the heaviest around 11 a.m. to 8 p.m. And when you return, you can expect the heaviest traffic to be 2 days after Thanksgiving. So we're talking about Sunday. Along I-35, that's going to be between 11 a.m. to 9 p.m. along I-10. It's going to be around 10 a.m. to 9 p.m. Coming up on GMSA, we're going to be taking a look at toll prices around some of these areas, some of these heavy traffic areas to see maybe how much it's going to cost you. We're also going to talk about some apps that might help you on these road trips. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Patty. Well, it took San Antonio police less than 30 minutes to search for a woman after she crashed into a creek on the south side. She was found the next day. Police are asking anyone who drove eastbound on Loop 410 near Highway 16 just before 6 a.m. Monday, and if they may have seen anything to come forward. 21-year-old Jolie Pesina was discovered in her car on Tuesday evening in Leon Creek. Authorities say that she lost control of her car. Her phone sent out a crash alert, but police had a difficult time locating her because the phone pinged about a mile away from that crash site. Family members later found her flipped in a ditch after searching that area.
We went out there and were not able to locate any kind of accident. There were no witnesses that called in that accident. What I can tell you is that the victim was located the following day in the evening. It was about a mile from where the dispatch location was from.
Pesina, you see pictures of her right there, leaves behind a 2-year-old daughter.
San Antonio police are working to piece together what led up to a kidnapping that ended with a SWAT rescue on the northwest side and the woman kidnapped arrested as well. The raid happened on Wednesday night at a Motel 6 on Wurzbach Road near Interstate 10. San Antonio police confirmed that this was connected to a clear alert issued earlier that day for 27-year-old Destiny Rose Ferden. Police say that she was kidnapped by a former romantic partner, 35-year-old Joffrey Garcia. A SWAT team entered a room and found the pair, and Garcia was arrested for kidnapping, and Ferden was also arrested for outstanding warrants.
60 years in prison. That's a sentence for a man convicted of stabbing and beating his girlfriend before wrapping her in a plastic bag and leaving her on the side of the road. Roger Arteaga Gonzalez was found guilty of aggravated assault with a deadly weapon. The attack happened back in December of 2023. Now, someone saved the victim's life after seeing her and calling 911. According to a previous news release, Gonzalez had been wearing an ankle monitor at the time of that crime.
A new challenge for investigators tracking down violent offenders. The Bexar County Sheriff says that teens are passing around guns used in crimes, making it harder to trace who pulled the trigger. Sheriff Javier Salazar says that that's what they're seeing in the ongoing investigation into the shooting death of 17-year-old Eliana Ujeta, killed at a party in late September. Detectives have identified 18-year-old Deshaun Suggs as the suspect, but he's still not in custody.
What we're seeing is that many times these kids are utilizing these guns, trading them off for another gun that may have been used in something else.
Investigators say that they've already recovered 10 guns while working this case, and they're seeing the same pattern in other shootings, including the 2024 murder of 17-year-old Layden Reyes. The sheriff says that they're tracking where these weapons are moving now, and he's calling on the community to help them stop the gun swap cycle before it fuels another crime.
A traffic stop in Bexar County is now opening up a much bigger investigation. Texas anti-gang troopers say that they pulled over a driver for a simple violation, and during that stop, he admitted that he had some kind of drugs in the car. A canine named Ado alerted troopers to more than 400 grams of meth hidden inside that vehicle. We're waiting to hear back from investigators on where that meth was headed and whether more people are connected to this operation.
More details about coming out with the Trump administration's plan to end the war in Ukraine. A draft of the 28-point peace plan includes land concessions and limits on the size of Ukraine's military. And many of these ideas have been rejected before by Ukraine and European leaders because they're seen as making too many concessions to Russia. But U.S. officials say any final deal will need both sides to give something up. After meeting with a top U.S. military official on Thursday, Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky agreed to work with the Trump administration on this plan. The world's most popular chatbot is making its way into classrooms with a new version made just for teachers. OpenAI is offering ChatGPT for teachers free. The verified K-12 educators until June 27th. After that, they plan to keep the price low and affordable. OpenAI says that this tool gives teachers a safe place to customize lessons for their classrooms. A recall alert for Hyundai drivers. The company is recalling over 85,000 Sonata cars because of a possible fuel tank leak that could cause the tank to melt. The recall affects models from 2020 to 2023, and the company is saying 7 owners have reported fuel leaks, but there have been no crashes or injuries. Owners will get notices about the recall in the mail. Hyundai will pay back anyone who already paid for repairs related to this problem.
All right, 509, 73 degrees outside, still pretty warm, humid and cloudy. Rain yesterday, we picked up about 1/4 of an inch at the airport. Will we see more today? We'll take a look at the authority radar coming up.
Military City USA is about to host a huge event for the first time ever. Stay with us to hear from a local leader about the Warrior Games coming to San Antonio next year.
5:12 right now. There are definitely easier ways to go viral, but one visitor to the Riverwalk took the scenic route straight into the river. As she dropped her phone, decided why not, and then she actually went in, wading around barefoot for nearly 8 minutes. Her haul: 2 rocks, 1 brick, and 0 phone. Her adventure did make it to TikTok, racking up more than 1 million views already. But a quick reminder, we all know the Riverwalk is gorgeous, but it is not exactly a spa or clean. The San Antonio River Authority says the bacterial levels, especially E. coli, pretty high down there. So if you do lose your phone, you need to skip the dip and call your carrier instead.
Yes, definitely do not want to be jumping into the Riverwalk, especially in that area. Military City USA, we are scoring a big win this morning. The Department of Defense is bringing the Warrior Games right here to the Alamo City for the first time next year.
Yeah, the first time the prestigious event will be held in Texas, drawing adaptive military athletes from across the country. And Ernie Zuniga spoke with a local who commandeered the Warrior Games 10 years ago.
Retired Major General Juan Ayala was there in 2015, and he will be front and center next summer when the prestigious Warrior Games take place here in San Antonio.
You're fired up about this.
I am. This is close to my heart. I've done a lot of great things in my career, but this is something that is just really special for our military, wounded, ill, and injured.
The games were set to be held in San Antonio back in 2020, but the COVID pandemic forced them to cancel. This time around, the Warrior Games will primarily be held downtown and will be free of charge for the public to attend and cheer on these heroes.
It's very good for the recuperative efforts because a lot of these folks, you know, if you're a triple amputee, if you're an amputee, if you're blind, you tend to go in the shadows and they come back out.
Army veteran J.P. Lane is a local Purple Heart recipient and a 6-time gold medalist. He was injured in an IED blast in Afghanistan in 2018, losing both of his legs and nearly losing his life several times.
The one thing I'm looking forward to the most is seeing my brothers and sisters in arms give it their all, because these adaptive sports are not easy.
More than 300 adaptive military athletes from around the country are expected to compete next summer. The Warrior Games are also scheduled to return to San Antonio in 2028.
Seeing that camaraderie, seeing that love for one another, and the drive we give one another, I think America should see this 24/7. It'll remind us to stay united, just like the military.
Ernie Zuniga, KSAT 12 News.
Car enthusiasts, you won't want to miss this annual car show happening today through the weekend at the Henry B. Gonzalez Convention Center. A 3-day event features fan favorites, new models, and unique vehicles from top manufacturers. You can shop, compare, and even test drive the latest cars from Ford and Mercedes-Benz. There will also be activities for the kiddos like a safe ride along. Other highlights include a luxury car exhibit, a student mechanic competition, and a pet adoption event. Tickets available right now at saautoshow.com.
All right, coming up on 5:16, good morning to everyone out there. And unfortunately, we're seeing a pretty significant wreck right here. This is going to be on the southeast side. Remember, we just talked about this a few minutes or so ago. I spotted it on around 37 and 10, and now I found it on our TransGuide traffic feed. This is going to be 10 eastbound traffic over here at Presa. That's our camera. But basically, this is going to be a full shutdown of the exit going from 10 to 37, again, on the southeast side of town. So looks like we have a couple of emergency officials, SAPD, on the scene as we continue to gather some more information on this crash on the southeast side. This is exactly where it's going to be. So south of Brack High School, south of the Dome, basically, again, the east going up to the east side of town. You could exit Roosevelt. That's a potential option to get around this. Also have Steves Avenue, which is basically State Highway 536. That's basically Alamo up further up the road, but it turns into Steves, kind of runs parallel along with 10. So those are some potential options right now. Not too many people on the road, so that is some good news. At least we're not seeing a lot of volume out there at this moment, and hopefully they could get that exit opened up pretty soon. And taking a look at the rest of the city, everything's looking pretty good. We did clear out some overnight construction over by 10 for all of our drivers headed over to Seguin. Things looking good here on the northeast side and northwest side as well. No major issues out there for our drivers if you're about to step outside. Let's check in with Justin, our Weather Authority meteorologist, for a check of your forecast. Justin.
Thanks, sir. Yesterday, yes, there were some storms around the area thanks to this last area of low pressure that is moving through. We can see the heavier rain is up here around Kansas, but tail end of this, there's still a front back here, and this has still got to move through today. Now, we are very much on the tail end of things, so rain chances aren't huge today, but we still have some in the forecast. Meantime, behind this, there's an area of low pressure just off the coast of California. This is our next storm system, which will be moving in, and we'll push the front through on Monday. So it's a busy scenario here. And then behind that, by the way, we have yet another front. So there's 3 fronts to talk about in this forecast. The Authority radar right now, there's not a whole lot here. We're seeing generally pretty quiet conditions, although there are some storms up here to our north, and that is along the front. I do think as that front moves a little bit closer, and it'll be slowly moving through the area today, that we could see some more showers and storms. So here's a look at that. This is 8 o'clock. Shows some activity maybe in the hill country initially, and then as this front slowly makes its way towards San Antonio midday into early afternoon, there could be a few showers and storms along the frontal boundary itself. And then once that moves through, any activity would move down into the coastal plains by this evening. It does show maybe a couple more showers creeping back in here tonight, maybe into early tomorrow morning, and then most of Saturday will be pretty quiet. We're going to call for partly cloudy conditions on your Saturday, with a few more showers returning to the forecast on Sunday. So for today, 76 noontime, 30% chance of rain. We're going to peak at a 40% chance of rain right around 2 o'clock. And then after that, again, quieter conditions. It'll still be warm, 79, but a little cooler, as I said, over the weekend. Near 80 here in town, 78 Bernie, 78 Comfort. So yes, a warm day for most areas. Weekend breakdown, 75 Saturday, partly cloudy. I will leave in a 20% chance of rain, but I don't think we're going to have to worry about too much on Saturday. Sunday, cooler, bit more cloud cover, 68, and we will bump up the rain chances slightly late in the day to 30%. What about Thanksgiving? Well, we are going to get yet another front Wednesday of next week, and this means cooler weather, 60s, lows in the 40s. Should be great for Thanksgiving, for whatever plans you have. It's looking like it will be beautiful. So to put it all together for you, we are thinking small rain chances over the weekend, another shot Monday with yet another front, 40% Monday, high of 76. Tuesday, 80, and then by Wednesday, here comes the next front, turns windy, and yes, we'll get some cooler weather for Thanksgiving. Right now, we're going 64 with a morning low of 45. Whoa. It sounds really nice. Friday will be nice, too, for the A&M UT game. Not that anyone's got that circled on their calendar at all, but
no one's ever talked about that.
Anyway, all right, our Just Ask Justin question actually comes from a viewer. Susan put this question out there, and I like this one. So how many NBA teams don't end with an S?
Yep.
Is it 3, 4, 5, or 6? And for a bonus, if you can name those teams, you get some extra points. RJ is already saying he's got
them all right here.
Do you?
I do.
Oh my gosh. Well, I know who's answering the question first today then.
Oh,
Thank you, RJ. Okay, 5:20 right now, 73 degrees outside.
All right, Blue Origin is taking rockets to the next level. Still ahead, we're going to learn about the new Glenn upgrades that could take us to the moon.
In today's Tech Bites, Google just unveiled new and improved image generating software. The Gemini 3 Pro image, or Nano Banana Pro, promises to turn your vision into studio quality designs. Google says it has flawless text rendering and can blend multiple elements into a single composition. Blue Origin has announced upgrades for its new Glenn rocket following its successful mission. They include higher performing engines and updated tank design. The company says the improved rocket will benefit customers heading to low Earth orbit, the moon, and beyond. Finally, it just got easier to move files and photos between Google's Pixel 10 phones and iPhones. That's because Google has made it possible to use Android Quick Share with the iPhone's AirDrop feature. Google says it did the project without Apple's input. Now, those are your Tech Bites. I'm Sophie Flay. Have a great day.
524 right now. Hold on to your cowboy hats because the performer lineup for the San Antonio Stock Show and Rodeo now complete.
All right, so let's give you a rundown of the last batch of performers that are going to be taking the stage in February. And throughout the rodeo, we will have these performers. Midland, here you go. Very popular country band. How about Gary Allen, Pat Green, a Texas country great, Dos Borrachos, there we go, Cody Jinks, Braxton Keith, Terry Clark, 49 Winchester, and also the iconic Sheryl Crow.
So they're far from the only big names taking the stage, though, because the rodeo also hosts Robert Earl Keen, Miranda Lambert, and Luda. You can see the full lineup and the performance schedule on KSAT.com.
All right, speaking of the Frostbank Center, that was the site of another Spurs win last night against the Atlanta Hawks. Big game from De'Aaron Fox. Also, David Jones Garcia, an undrafted rookie, came up big for the Spurs. They improved to 11-4, and now they're hitting the road for the next 4 games. So, yes, we will not have our Spurs in San Antonio over the next week or so. They're taking on the Phoenix Suns. This starts Sunday night, the start of a 4-game road trip for our San Antonio Spurs.
Go Spurs, go. 525 right now, 73 degrees outside.
Planning to fly soon without a real ID still ahead, while you may have to still pay a fee or a new fee to get through some of that security.
And ahead on GMSA at 6, if you're worried about Thanksgiving costs this year, good news is that prices on turkeys and sides are dropping. Stay with us to find out how you can save on your holiday meal. And good morning. Coming up on 5:30 right now. Of course, we got a lot to get through. Our traffic authority, a lot of good news in that category, a lot of tips, I should say.
Yes, absolutely. So Patty Santos is covering some early Thanksgiving travel for us. And of course, we have our guy here, Justin Horn, following everything weather related for our Thanksgiving week.
Yeah, I was getting the authority radar set up because we do have some activity on there this morning, and we may see a little bit more over the weekend. And we've got not 1, not 2, but 3 fronts headed our way in the extended forecast. There's a lot to get to. Let's start with what's going on right now. If you're walking out the door, there's really not a lot to worry about here in San Antonio. We're not seeing a lot on radar, but there is the chance that we could see a couple more showers throughout the day with a small chance this morning, and then the slightly better chance as a front works through into the early afternoon hours, and that's when rain chances actually pick up a little bit, and we could even see a thunderstorm as well. So that's kind of the latest thinking. I'd say about a 40% chance of rain roughly noontime through about 2 p.m. But as it stands right now, the shower activities from Lavernia over to Gonzales, and this is all, again, pretty light stuff. So let's go outside for you. We've got cloudy skies right now, 73 degrees, 71 in New Braunfels, 75 Converse. South-southeasterly winds still, and humidity levels are pretty high. We'll talk about about a 30% chance of rain through the morning hours, and then by the afternoon is when we start to bring those rain chances up. We're talking more on the order of 40% by 1 o'clock, and probably into the 2 o'clock hour before that front slides through. Now, look, it's not going to do a lot to temperatures, but rain chances do wind down, which would be good for those playoff games we have going on tonight. So we're going to keep an eye on that forecast. Those are the high temperatures for most of the area in the upper 70s and low 80s today. RJ.
All right, thank you very much for that, Justin. Taking a look at your traffic authority, and we start here with a wide view of the city of San Antonio. Good morning to all of our folks out here. Things are looking pretty good for any of our drivers that are about to step outside on this Friday morning. Want to get you updated on the situation on the southeast side, because good news, they have cleared out that crash earlier reported right there. I-10 eastbound at Presa Street going 237. It looks like things have cleared out according to the last look that I had at one of our TransGuide traffic cameras. So again, this incident now good to go for our drivers on the southeast side of town, but we're switching over to our TransGuide traffic cameras. No major incidents right here, 35 at 410, but it'll be very busy over the next couple of days or so as we get not only set for the weekend, but also maybe some early Thanksgiving travel plans. So speaking of that, our Patty Santos right now, reporter Patty Santos is on the ground with our photojournalist Alex Gomez for the very latest on what you need to know about your Thanksgiving travel. Good morning, Patty.
Hey there, good morning. Yeah, we're hoping to get everybody ready, plan ahead a little bit. I know we're a little early, but you got to plan ahead if you want to stay on top of this traffic. Now, AAA says most Texans will be traveling about 50 miles away from home. And in the last 30 minutes, we told you the specific hours that you're going to get caught up in traffic if you leave at those hours. Now we want to talk about how much you might be paying if you want to avoid some of that traffic. Let's talk about using state highway tolls. As for example, if you're going to be using State Highway 130 toll from Seguin all the way to North Austin, that's going to cost you less than $20. But again, you're going to be avoiding traffic. If you're using State Highway 45 from South Austin to North Austin, that's going to run you less than $2. Now, you might consider the tolls to get around UT traffic as well. There's going to be a game tomorrow and next Friday after Thanksgiving. It's usually pretty busy 2 hours before and after the game, so that's when you want to maybe consider using those tolls. If you're thinking about going to Houston, the toll there, the full Grand Parkway toll from State Highway 99 around Houston, it's going to cost you over $25. Coming up in the next half hour, we're going to take a look at some of the apps that maybe you might use. One of them I just learned about, really. It's been around for a while, but I just learned to use it, so I'm going to teach you how to use it. We're coming up in about 30 minutes. We'll send it back to you.
Thank you, Patty. San Antonio police are still searching for the person who shot a woman in the face in a drive-by shooting. It happened yesterday around noon in a neighborhood north of downtown. Officers say that someone in a brown SUV opened fire at a home near West Russell Place and Agnew Avenue. The victim and a second person were inside the home at the time. Police say that they spoke with the victim after the shooting. She is expected to survive.
A man is in jail this morning after SAPD says that he made threats against a protest earlier this week. According to an arrest affidavit, 48-year-old George Hernandez posted threatening comments on a Facebook post by the Bexar County Democratic Party. The post called for an emergency rally at the site of a federal law enforcement raid where more than 150 immigrants were detained. Hernandez's comments was reported by multiple people, and he was arrested on a charge of making a terroristic threat.
The push to protect our senior citizens is growing stronger. We told you on Tuesday about the county's new Center for Elder Exploitation. And now District 9 Councilwoman Misty Spears is talking about the city's new Elder Abuse Subcommittee. She's driven by personal experience with her mother-in-law.
She called me one day and she said, "Hey, I need you to take me to Western Union. I've got to get some money to this person." And I said, "What are you talking about?" And it was one of those scam emails, and she just had no idea that there were predators like that targeting the elderly.
And right now on KSAT.com, you can hear how the subcommittee plans to educate the community and even work with the county to make sure seniors don't fall through the cracks. The Medina County Sheriff's Office moving to block the release of body camera footage from a deadly November 8th shooting involving food influencer Michael Anthony. Now, he checked with investigators and they say that the case is still active and more details could come later. Now, here's what we know is that the authorities say that he charged the officers during a mental health call, shouting, "I'm going to kill you," end quote. A deputy fired, hitting him twice, and he later died at San Antonio Hospital. The sheriff's office tells KSAT that they're worried releasing the video could jeopardize the Texas Rangers investigation and expose the deputy's personal information.
5:35. If you plan to fly anytime soon and do not have a real ID, you may have to pay a fee to get through airport security. The TSA is proposing charging an $18 fee for travelers without a real ID. Instead of showing a real ID, you could pay this fee and use a new biometric kiosk to verify who you are. This would let you get through TSA checkpoints for up to 10 days. The TSA says the fee will help cover the cost of the new tech that makes this all possible. And just so you know, the fee will not be refundable. At this point, there's no word on when this new rule may start. Well, hundreds of U.S. airport workers are getting a boost in pay after a historic government shutdown. 776 air traffic controllers and technicians will each receive a $10,000 award. The money goes to the employees who had perfect attendance throughout this entire shutdown. This recognition comes after President Donald Trump directed that air traffic workers be honored. Recipients will be notified during Thanksgiving week, with those payments expected by December the 9th. And time is running out this morning for the NCAA to decide if college athletes can bet on pro sports. They have until 5 o'clock this afternoon to cancel a rule that would let athletes place those bets. A source told CNN that so far 188 Division I schools have filed paperwork saying that they want to cancel that rule, but they need 241 schools to speak up to stop all of this from happening. That's 2/3 of all D1 schools. If this rule stands, college athletes, coaches, and staff could start betting on pro sports as soon as tomorrow.
All right, 537, 73 degrees. Pretty quiet in San Antonio right now. We're watching for a few showers east of town. And we've got some big games tonight. Livonia plays Somerset at Ferris Stadium. Should be pretty good for this game. Temperatures in the 60s and 70s. Maybe a small chance of rain.
Honor our heroes this holiday season by joining the San Antonio National Cemetery. Place wreaths on thousands of veterans' graves. Still ahead, how you can sponsor a wreath or volunteer for this special tradition.
It's sort of a love-hate relationship.
Well, you just saw it right there. This is a powerful voice for some of the most well-known local car dealers that you see on TV and the airwaves every day. Our Ernie Zuniga visits with Pam Crail about her life and her important role in the San Antonio auto scene this week on Pickup Lines.
Hey there, good morning. I'm Patty Santos. We are getting you ready for your holiday travel. I know it's early, but some of you are lucky enough to be leaving already this weekend. We're going to talk about an app that you probably already have on your phone that's going to help you pick the best time to leave for Thanksgiving to visit family. We'll be right back.
544, welcome back. Well, the annual San Antonio Auto Show kicking off today. And so this week on Pickup Lines, our very own anchor Ernie Zuniga is sitting down with Pam Crail.
Yeah, she is the president of the San Antonio Auto Dealers Association. Pam was born in Kansas but came to San Antonio when she was 8 years old, eventually settled in Schertz. Before that, though, the Clemens High School grad spent a number of years working at the state capitol in Austin for various senators and committees in the Texas Senate.
You're working 17-hour days and you're just blindered, right? That's all you know. You're outside,
in your zone.
Your outside life doesn't exist.
Yeah.
And through all of the committee hearings and hearing from all of the different people from interest groups who were trying to get bills passed.
In this episode, Pam also discusses the important role she has and the work she does on behalf of many of the well-known auto dealers that you see on many of our local TV commercials every day.
So the latest episodes of Pickup Lines premieres at 5:30 and replays at 7:30 this evening on the free KSAT Plus app, or you can watch it now at KSAT.com. All you have to do is search Pickup Lines.
Wreaths across America. San Antonio National Cemetery is rallying our community to place remembrance wreaths on 162,000 veterans' graves at Fort Sam Houston this December. Each wreath is a symbol of courage, love, and sacrifice.
You can scan that QR code that you see just popped up on your screen right now. Just $17. You can join the proud tradition of supporting local veteran groups, sponsor a wreath in honor or in memory of a loved one who served, or sponsor and let organizers designate a recipient among the millions resting in honored glory. Laying of the wreaths will take place on December 13th. Volunteer opportunities are available, and we got all those details that can be found at ksatcommunity.com.
Absolutely. Definitely want to help those folks. I know, Justin, you're tracking a line of storms potentially making their way to the San Antonio area.
There's a chance for rain today. It's not going to be as widespread as yesterday, but there is a chance we can see a couple downpours today, and we'll talk about that coming up in just a second.
Well, let's get to the roadways, though, because I know we've been talking about tips for the holidays. Everybody's kind of gearing up for them, but right now this morning, are we looking good?
Yeah, we're looking pretty good, Jeff. No major issues out there. We had a crash earlier in the southeast side of town that caused a little bit of delays for our drivers that were making their way through 10 at Presa and headed over to parts of 37. But this right here is going to be a smaller incident on the east side of town over by Foster Road. You see that our maps are indicating that we do have a crash right here over by 10 at Foster. Now, it looks like things may be in the clearing process out there for some of our folks. I was looking at this camera over the past 10-15 minutes, and it looks like it was nothing major, nothing serious out there for our drivers. That's good news for that driver as well, who may have been stuck there off to the side of the road. 10 at West, this is going to be another shot at Foster Road as we get a little bit closer to 410 and I-10. Again, east side of town, traffic is looking pretty good out there for many of our drivers that are making their way through Houston Street and through that part of the San Antonio area. Everything else is looking pretty good right now. Now, we are going to have some construction taking place later on this weekend on the far northwest side of town, but they opened up those two brand new flyovers last weekend, so we should be good to go. There should not be too many major traffic concerns out in that area. Right now, the northeast side is looking pretty good as well. Everything across the San Antonio, the greater area of San Antonio, is looking pretty good. Not too bad to start your Friday morning. Let's check in with our Weather Authority meteorologist, Justin Horn, for a check of today's forecast. Justin, and some of the activity we're seeing out there.
Yes, a little bit this morning, and we saw some yesterday. I know the western counties got quite a bit. San Antonio, not so much. We did get some rain. There were some downpours, a couple rounds yesterday evening. Marty sent this in from North San Antonio. Beautiful sight to see, and this is exactly what we've been waiting for. We need those rain gauges to fill up. How much rain did we see? Well, at the airport officially, 1/4 of an inch. If you get into Stone Oak, it was more on the order of 6/10 of an inch. Bernie, about 3/10 of an inch. New Braunfels, big winner there, 1.59. Medina Lake picked up about 6/10 of an inch. So again, not a lot. If you were out west, your numbers were, again, much higher. But we do have some more opportunities headed our way. Today, a frontal boundary, a weak one, moves through, and that will create a few showers as it does sweep through the area. And then this weekend, just some spotty rain. Now, this weekend, I don't anticipate rain that's going to really add up. It'll be really light stuff if we see anything. Then next week we get a front, cooler by the week, by Thanksgiving, I should say, which is going to be really nice. The forecast for Thanksgiving Day looks great. Here's authority radar, and we are noticing some showers off to the east. This is around Gonzales, maybe out towards Livernia, seeing a little bit of activity this morning. This is all kind of lifting off to the north. Nothing terribly heavy. That's one little area of rain. There is another one up here. And this is along that frontal boundary, which is just not moving very much, but it will get a bit of a push today and will sink south. And as it does, that should give us a little bit of lift and bring some rain chances into play. I just can't rule out a few showers this morning, so we're going to keep that 30% chance in the forecast. So far, the morning commute is okay. 72 at 9 a.m., noontime 76. 30%, and then I'm going to bump it up to 40% at 1 and 2 o'clock because that's right about the time that front moves through, and that may just enhance our rain chances a little bit. Then as we get into the late afternoon and evening hours, should clear out some. Temperatures will still be warm, near 80 or so. If you're traveling today, we know Patty's been talking a lot about that. Let's give you a forecast. Maybe if you're headed east down I-10, there is a chance for some showers and storms out towards Houston. Dallas will be sunny, so the further north you go, the clearer it gets. El Paso, shout out RJ, 62, mostly clear, mostly cloudy for Corpus Christi and the Rio Grande Valley, but warm down there. Temperatures in the mid 80s. So by and large, not a bad travel day. Here's the futurecast, and by 8 a.m. this morning, we'll see some of those showers slip into the hill country. This is noontime. Again, there's not a ton of rain along this front, but just enough lift to give us a few showers and storms. And then by 8 p.m., that's moving towards the coast. And we may see a few more showers tonight, but Saturday, again, if we see anything, it's going to be generally really pretty light. I'm not too worried about rainfall Saturday. 30% chance Sunday, 40% chance Monday because we get another front. Then yet another front on Wednesday, and that's the one that really cools us down for Thanksgiving. Right now for Turkey Day, we're going 64 with a morning low of 45. That's perfect. Okay, Justin. This morning, this is viewer submitted. Susan called in with this one, and I like this question. How many NBA teams don't end with an S? Is it 3, 4, 5, or 6? We got votes for 4 and 6. We know the Spurs has an S on the end, but there's some teams that don't.
Bulls. No, Lord forgive me.
That's not it.
Okay, I got to figure this out, y'all.
No, and a little hint here, I think one is weather related.
Yes,
if I'm not mistaken.
Yes,
of course
it is.
It's weather related.
Yes, it is. I'll make that argument.
Magic. Okay, 5:51 right now, 73 degrees outside.
Well, the Botanical Gardens Illuminate is back with a brand new handcrafted lanterns and some of those glowing trails. How you can experience this magical holiday tradition coming up.
If you're looking for some holiday fun for the whole family outside of that beautiful light show you just saw there, Arnold Park is having a winter carnival today and tomorrow, and it is free to attend. There will be rides, games, and holiday activities like music, a seasonal market, and festive photo ops. To ice skate, though, if you got the balance, $15 per person, including skate rental, or you can get a wristband for $25 that covers both ice skating and the rides.
All right, pretty cool stuff there. Well, check out these photos right here. Northeast ISD students are getting updated equipment for the school's diesel tech program. All right, interesting program here. Thanks to the Coca-Cola Foundation, or donation from Coca-Cola. The Diesel Tech program teaches high school students how to work with heavy machinery and engines. We're told that Coca-Cola offered up the big rig after a Coca-Cola Southwest employee noticed that his son's training program equipment was outdated.
All right, 5:56 right now. We got 73 degrees outside and still a lot more ahead.
Absolutely, yes. One of our top stories next hour, a kidnapping on San Antonio's northwest side ends with a dramatic SWAT rescue. We're going to tell you how police were able to track down the victim and arrest both her alleged kidnapper and also herself, though.
And if you're headed out of town for the holiday this weekend, we got some good news for you because the traffic is not expected to be too bad. This morning, our Patty Santos helps plan your trip.